The ink isn't even dry on some of these letters of intent, but what an exciting day it was for Buckeye fans. Now, there was a little bit of everything today on National Signing Day. It wasn't perfect, but still a damn good day for the Buckeyes, sitting at number 3 overall with 20 commitments. I got Matt Parker of Lettermen Row here, and we're going to break down the ups and downs of Ohio State Signing Day. But first, Buckeye fans, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We're here 365 days out of the year talking recruiting. Hit subscribe. Want you to be a part of it, please. All right. Matt Parker from Lettermen Row. Where do we start? Let's go with Jeremiah Smith. He's the number 1 player in the country. Monumental signing today. Miami was pressing. FSU was pressing. What did you hear behind the scenes as this thing went down?
I mean, it was always Ohio State, Josh. It was always Ohio State. We had seen, ever since he committed last December, he gave his verbal commitment to Ohio State, and he wanted to give his verbal commitment before that moment in time. He sticks with it, and it's all about the development. It's all about what Brian Hartline has done at Ohio State, sending guys to the first round of the NFL draft. You see guys, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba on Monday night with a little backdoor recruiting pitch for Ohio State with his comments after the game-winning touchdown. Mm-hmm. That stuff matters. That stuff adds up. We're about to see Marvin Harrison Jr. more likely than not declare for the NFL draft. And then you have guys in the program right now that are going to be young difference makers with Carnell Tate, Brandon Inniss, and now Jeremiah Smith, who is set to sign his letter of intent. He announced that he is going to sign with Ohio State, and just an overall really, really big day for the Buckeyes.
Now, Ohio State didn't have 100% luck with the Jeremiahs because Jeremiah McClellan, the borderline 5-star wide receiver out of St. Louis, Missouri, flipped his commitment to start the day. I mean, this was big news. He flipped his commitment to Oregon. Did you guys see that one coming? Was that on your radar heading into the day?
It was. We got some rumblings Tuesday evening that it looked like Ohio State wasn't as comfortable going into Wednesday as we had initially thought. Just poking around and talking with some folks, Oregon really came in hard the last 24, 36 hours of this 2024 cycle. The cycle's not over yet, but with kids signing in December and things like that, instead of February these days, it kind of feels like it's over. But you have to give, I guess, credit where credit's due. Dan Lanning and staff came in and decidedly made Jeremiah McClellan go from wide receiver number 3 with the Buckeyes to wide receiver number 1 with the Oregon Ducks. And he's got two new quarterbacks throwing the ball with him, Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore as well. So not completely unexpected. There is a little bit of being bummed about it, but when Ohio State brings in Jeremiah Smith and Mylan Graham, it certainly eases the blow of losing Jeremiah.
Absolutely. Mylan Graham, getting him across the finish line was huge. But let's, we're filming this in the late afternoon, early evening of National Signing Day, but go back to the morning. When Jeremiah McClellan flip happened, did it feel like that might set the tone for what Jeremiah Smith and Edric Houston were going to do? Were Buckeye fans in a little bit of a panic?
I think just because it was so expected, because I feel like at Lettermen Row anyway, we had done enough legwork to say, if this happens, don't be surprised. Whereas we had been reporting pretty extensively that we're expecting Jeremiah Smith and Edric Houston, 2 5-stars, to sign with the Buckeyes. And boy, did they sure make it interesting for us. I'll say that much. I'm sure we'll get to that in a second. But I guess you could say in a way that it kind of set the tone in retrospect. But moving forward, like from that moment in time, looking forward, I certainly didn't expect the day to unfold the way it did in terms of how it, I suppose.
But then it turned around, right? Jeremiah Smith signs with Ohio State at noon, and then we're waiting on the Buford boys and Edric Houston. It seemed like all the insiders had him pegged to go to Bama. He ends up inking with Ohio State. How big was that? Were you hearing behind the scenes that this thing was going down to the wire?
Not nearly as close to the wire as it really did, Josh. The biggest thing with that is, Ryan Day had his signing day press conference at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. He leaves the press conference to make a phone call, and then he's gone for about 10, 15 minutes. And he walks back into the room, and not even 30 seconds after he walks back into the room, on threes, Hayes Fawcett tweets out the graphic saying that Edric Houston is going to sign with Ohio State. And it was my turn to ask Ryan Day the question, and I had asked him, I said, was that phone call by chance from Buford, Georgia? He gave a laugh and elected no comment there. But
wow,
waking up this morning, I was fully preparing Edric Houston to flip to Alabama. Just talking with people Tuesday evening and even a little bit Wednesday morning. And mind you, like everyone else that covers recruiting, I've been awake since about 5:30 this morning, just ready to go. Talking with people early Wednesday morning, I was fully prepared and expecting Edric Houston to flip to Alabama. And then that phone call happens and a change of heart happens. And the Buckeyes have their guy, the number 4 edge in the On3 industry rankings, and early enrollee is going to be in Columbus in January. And that is massive for Ohio State.
Absolutely. And hey, it doesn't matter how they got there. All that matters is that right now the ink is drying and the Buckeyes have the number 3 overall class in America. Buckeye fans, let me know, comment section below. How do you feel about this class? Who's your favorite signee not named Jeremiah Smith? Let me know, comment section below. Thank you, Matt Parker, for dropping by on such a busy day to the Inside Scoop. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.